So coming back to the BPM life cycle, it also follows a life cycle, okay, where we design our first is whenever we talk about a workflow, we'll design our workflows where we'll uh, distinguish or break down our process into the multiple tasks. Okay, let's take an example of a loan management. Let's say in a loan management, I need to apply for a loan, then I need to uh, process my loan. Let's say there are multiple EMIs I have to pay, so that is called as a managing of a loan. After completion of all my EMIs, right, I need to go for a closure of a loan. So that is again one of the tasks we can say, and these tasks can be further subdivided into other multiple tasks. So whenever we are going to design, right, first of all we need to break down the process into multiple tasks, then we need to model these tasks. So when we have the sequence of activities or tasks defined, we can model it using the BPM softwares. So different softwares have their different modeling UI components by using which you can design your workflows. After that, you need to execute the process or put a system in place, which means you can go for a deployment, then you can monitor and analyze the system, where you can see the post deployment results, whether you can do the unit testing and you can monitor your process, and then you can definitely optimize where you can make the changes to the process to improvement. And again, if you have the further requirements, you can again follow the same life cycle. Now, after BPMN, I will talk about a CMMN and DMN. So, case management modeling notation is something in a nutshell. I'll talk about. It's a notation which has been again governed and published by the OMG, where we deal in terms of the cases instead of the processes. So, we use it whenever we have a dynamic processes or we have partial structured workflows. Coming back to the DMN, which is a decision model and notation, the third topology which has been governed by OMG. It is used for the precise specification of business rules. So mostly all the workflows or BPMN tools, they closely follow the DMN, and they follows the expression language or dual language, which is again can be easily understood or can be used for the development by the non-technical users as well. And it provides certain hit policies as well when we talk about the decision modeling. So hit policy is like something for implementing any business rule, right? You can write your business rules, n number of business rules, but again you can select any of the policy which has been available. So there are 6 or 7 different policies are available for unique, first, priority, or sequence. So different policies are available. You can use it as per your convenience and which is best suited for your workflow. So DMN is designed to work alongside usually with the BPMN or CMMN. Normally, we'll not use DMN as a separate or individual services. Normally, these will be used or integrated within our BPMN or CMMN workflows. And the trio of BPMN, CMMN, and DMN, when we use all these three together, right, what is very beneficial or conclusive is by using this trio, right, we can drill down or we can design any complex level of workflows as well if we know the best practices of using these three standards. So this triple crown of process improvement standards offer supports for the BPMN, CMMN, and DMN, and we can use it wisely. The core concepts of BPMN and CMN and DMN are listed here, but before going to that and to the next slide, I know it's getting difficult when you are learning about these concepts for the very first time. So it is really difficult to remember all these things. But as I mentioned, I'll take you through with one of the example as well. So this is one of the BPMN tool portal as well, which is for the flowable BPM, where you can see they have this inbuilt engage design and control. Engage is something used by the business users. So whatever workflows you will define, right, they can be tested using the engage. We'll come to that. Design is something which will be used by the developers, okay, technical users, where they can design your workflows using the BPM and CMN and DMN standards. And control is something which will be used by the administrative users. So where they need to do some administrative tasks of managing users, they need to migrate, they need to do some deployments, that control application will be provided. Similar to these three components which is provided in the flowable, right, more and less similar type of components will be available in other BPM tools as well. So let's start with the flowable design first. How does it look like? So when you come here, it will give you a dashboard of all the available applications which are already developed. You can create a case, you can create a process using CMMN. You can create a case, you can create a process, you can create a decision. You can also create UIs, forms. So whatever you are seeing, right, they are already developed one, and there are other supported features as well. Not to go in detail, I'll try to open one of the application which uses all these three terminologies. So this is a loan application which has been designed, and you can see this application has these many components: the forms, decision tables, actions. Content is something about the attachments, and process is BPM and process. Case is case management. So when you open this, on the left hand side in the left panel, you will find all the elements which can be used for the development activities for the case management. These are the containers. Okay, by looking into this overview, right, on the middle part, this is a development window, or you can see where this complete workflow has been designed, and internally it is using BPMN and DMN as well. I'll tell you about that as well. But on the right hand side, you can see whenever I click on any of the element, right, it will show the property details of that particular element. So as a developer, you can configure or change these properties as per your use case. So this is a skill set which will be developed when you start working on these tools. And if you work on one of the tool, right, it is very easy and convenient that you can use different tools as well. Why? Because all these tools, right, which are available like flowable, right, if you want to use any other tool, Camunda or Activity, you will feel some differences based upon how this product has been designed. But internally as a developer, right, you will not feel more differences. Why? Because all these standards what you see on the left hand side and the right hand side, they are being governed by object management group, and they follows the latest standards which we discussed very initially. So if you find a stage here, you will find a stage in all other tools as well. So this workflow is about a loan management, where in the first container you can see this big box, we are applying for a loan. Second container is you are managing a loan, and third container you are closing a loan. That's it. Okay, there is a no coding we have done here. Everything has been designed and developed using the BPM. So when you want to process anything, they have forms as well. We'll talk about that as well. And everything can be managed within this product itself. So within this first task, right, when we are applying for a loan, we have this application process. So this task is a BPMN task, which you can take from here. Okay, there are different tasks as also available, but when we are using this BPMN task, which means within a case management, you can initiate a BPMN process as well. So BPMN process, as I mentioned, it's a structured workflow. So which means you have a start endpoint and you have a end endpoint. Between this, your workflow will be designed by the different set of activities. Whatever these signs you are using, seeing this, right? These are the user tasks. So which means whenever workflow will come to this point, end user has to take an action from the UI. Otherwise, apart from these user tasks, everything is system task. So which means no intervention is required, and whatever logic you have written, right, that will be executed. If there is no error, that will be processed and your workflow will be continued to the next task. So that's a beauty. So in the left hand side, you will see all these different types of start event. We are using this start event, right? There are different other events as well. You can start using a timer start event, signal, message, error, and many other things. And also activities you can see here, right? There are a lot of activities are there. Based upon your use case, you can use any activity. Here mostly it's a user activity or a content activity or a decision task we have used. So decision task is, again, we talk about the business rules. So I'll open that as well. So business rules are something like that. As I mentioned, they also follows the field language. So non-technical users also, by looking into this case, right, they can understand what my business rule is doing. So here in the left hand side, these are the inputs for a decision task. Based upon the conditions, right, it is being getting calculated, and right hand side you can see the outputs of that decision task. So what we are giving is based upon the age. If my age of a candidate is less than 24, we are rejecting the loan. If the home is rented one, we are not considering the age. If it is rented, again we are rejecting the loan. If my age is greater than 60 and my home status is mortgage, I'm going to escalate it. I don't want to give the loan. But if these conditions are not met, I'm going to accept the loan request and I can process further. So I'll not go into much detail of this process. So apart from that, all these are user activities. So we can deploy this application using here. Directly we can deploy using the BPM tools. You can see the application has been deployed. And if you want to process that, right, it also provides the capabilities where you can open the Engage, whereby using this tool, right, business users can actually process a case. So this is the loan case. Let's say I'm giving a name. I need not to develop any new screens. Product itself is providing all these details. So after giving my name, right, my case has been created and it is being to the process, PPMN process, where it is asking for the other details. Why? Because this, I'll not go in detail as per the benefit of interest of time, but you can see in the form reference, we have asking for the name, which we have given in the first step. After that, it will go to this user activity. So whenever it goes to the user activity, the flow will stuck here, and we have this form created. So in the form, we have designed these values. Okay, we are asking for these details. So same we are going to provide here. Let's say if I'm giving is owned, I'll give some value, I'll give some age, 35, nationality, I can select from the drop down and select this salary. If I complete, my business rule is already executed and it moved to the next user task here itself. So this already executed, it is moved to the review application process. And same way, it will move on for the next further task. User can open, a new form will be available. He can escalate, he can reject, and he can approve. Based upon the action, right? This is the gateway. If he escalate, it will go there. He will reject, it will go to the rejection. If it will go approve, it will go for the management assignment. So everything based upon that, right? Let's say if I'm taking accept, it is directly going to the assigned manager. Manager can give his name, he can attach his photo, and he can complete a task. Done. So you can see that, and the history, you can see what all has been happening with this task, right? We can see that what are the documents attached, what are the subtasks are available, who have taken what action on that, if any comments are given, everything we can see. Even we can debug from here as well, from the development capabilities. It will give a lot of features are available where you can see what all variables are been there, which route it has been taken. So blue line you can see, right, this is the route it has been taken, and green is something which is pending to execute. So there are a lot of features which are there I'll not be able to take all these things in this session, but in the subsequent sessions, right, we can develop or we can discuss more about that. But the overall purpose for displaying this example is, you can see with lesser development activity, right, you can deploy it, you can also visualize all these data. Also, you can visualize the reports as well. There are a lot of reports are available which you can see. Okay, what messages, case instances has been created, how many tasks has been created, process instances have been created. These are inbuilt. And control, I'll skip this part, but this has been used for the deployment purpose, where you can see all these admin related tasks. You can see what our applications are deployed. You can see cases, processes, and other things. A lot of features are available, which you can also see. So basically, these are the core concepts of BPMN, CMN, and DMN, where BPMN has the process activities, transitional data, procedural, and token. CMMN will have the cases. It acts on the events, contextuals, information declarative, and event condition actions. And DMN, which means business rules, will be having following these concepts of decisions, rules, knowledge, and functions. Talk about the real time of examples. We can have bank loan management for account opening or closure, human resource for hassle free onboarding or offboarding. We can design the workflows. We can have for the finance. These are the examples which I have already worked upon in my earlier project. So finance, like if we have any invoice processing or accounts payable or accounts receivable, we can design the workflows which are best suited. So any repetitive tasks are happening, right? So we can define the workflows for that. Travel for booking management, where we can have approval system, approval workflows. We can have sales for invoice approval. So these are the classic examples, but there are a lot of. But with these examples, you can conceptualize where we can fit in our BPM workflows. And these are the popular BPM and tools, like the leaders in the market, like Pega, Oracle BPM, IBM BPM, which is also known as Lombardi, Appian BPM, Flowable, Camunda, Activity, or JBPM, Bizagi, and TIPCO. So different organizations, based upon their requirement, right, and the architecture and the type of work style they have, they will choose the different tools. They have a tie-up. They can take the licensing of them. These are the paid or enterprise versions, so they can have a tie-up with them. With that, they can get the sales and support as well as per their contract. Other BPM tools are like AppPay, ProFlow, KissFlow, Signavio, and BonitaSoft. So Signavio is something which is recently 2 months ago been acquired by ERP SAP. Also, as I mentioned initially, there are a lot of community versions also available, which is free of cost. So you can use it based upon your requirement. And but they will be having some basic features. And these open source tools also have their community version as well, which comes with the enterprise, and they will be paid with more features. So Alfresco, Flowable, Adobe Lifecycle, Bizagi, Ares, BonitaSoft, and Camunda, JBPM, Joget, Modelio, Process Maker, and Signavio. These are the few popular community version BPM tools. Now, when we talk about the BPM skills, which is required for working on any workflow related platform, right? Then BPM developers must know the modeling and implementation of workflows. They should know how to use the business rules. They should also know how to do the DB integration of the process management. They should be expertise in the BPM design, following the BPM and DMN and CMN standards. And also most of these products, right, they also follows closely integrate with one of the programming language as well, mostly Java, and they also provide the microservice architecture as well. So you should have this knowledge as well. And if you go for a full stack development, where you want to leverage your skills of BPM with the full stack and architecture, then you must be knowing the front end development as well, of how to design and implement UI and UX, middleware technologies, and also the supporting database skills. So these are the solution architectures of Oracle BPM, where in the Oracle BPM we'll get these components which are available for the development: Oracle Service Bus, For the design and development, we have BPM Studio for the design and development used for BPM and programs, and Oracle BPM. We have Oracle Service Bus, which is used for the BEPL, which is Business Execution Programming Language, which is non BPM and products. Also, it supports the BAMP, which is the dashboard features. It has a process composer like the admin activities. We can see all the details. These are the tech stacks which we can use when we work on Oracle BPM. JDeveloper is something which will be used for the development work framework. And yeah, other things are already mentioned. So similar way, we have an architecture diagram for the flowable BPM. The second example, where we can have the modeler for designing the workflows. We have the flowable server for process execution. We have flowable IDM, which is taking care of the identity management and integration of the Active Directories and LDAP, where users, groups, and permissions can be created, deleted, and modified. It also have a support with the Elasticsearch, so which will be used for the faster processing and indexing. So the execution and the retrieval of the historic instance, right, will be really faster. Also, it provides supports the API layer like the services, email, template management, and other things. Tech stack, we can go for additional user interface as well if we don't want to use the forms which is provided in the flowable. Or normally, most of the products or organizations I work with, they have their own user interface, which is normally you can design in Node, React, or Angular, whatever is best suited for your organization. API gateway you can use for integration. Then design structure, mostly it is a microservice where all the components can be developed and deployed as a single microservice. And yeah, DB, it provides supports almost to all database like Postgres, Oracle DB, MySQL, in-memory database S2DB, and other MongoDB, NoSQL DB. It provides support for them. And cache, as I mentioned, it uses Elasticsearch. And then we have a case study also, which is there. But for the benefit of interest of time, I'll take you through with the slides. So one of the case studies with the bank, what they have done is they have want to do their process excellence initiative. So for doing that, this was a Swiss bank who have selected one of the BPM tool for their strategic workflow management platform. And that was this is something the background of this case study, which I'll take a pause and you can go through with the slide. After that, this is the solution which has been provided by using the strategic workflow management of BPM, where they have enabled the client onboarding, onboarding of the sensitive clients, onboarding of the Swiss corporate and institutional clients, management and approval of unstructured payments will be handled. They also trigger the notification to the client with the payment release by using the email notifications, reminders, and escalations, and other points. So the products and technologies used is they have used the BPM engine to process the instances. They use the designer for developing the workflow, and they have a task dashboard where all the user tasks are being listed, and they will be processed by the certain group of users as per the authorizations and role they have been assigned. And the BPM admin screens where all the manage admin related sysadmin related activities will be performed. So that's it about the today's webinar. I hope you were able to follow